Hi, it's Bernie Goldbach on the 29th of July, 2012, looking at the Sunday papers in Ireland. It's a big story about the London Olympics, and in a section called Pastoral Symphony, the Spectrum magazine covers stories of the fantastic spectacle that was held in London, the 2012 Olympics. If you're watching me in the United States, you'll know that the coverage was actually tailored, cut back, edited by NBC. So things like the Spectrum magazine coverage give a really good perspective, as does Sunday Times. In an article called Oh, Danny Boyle, The World Was Odd, Kate Mansi and John Good Thomas talk about exactly what happened there. The opening event took history, humor, and the Sex Pistols around the globe. That's really good stunts. Good background stuff. And if you're a scholar of history or of culture, of international politics, God, it really was a good spectacle. I like the Queen parachuting in. Richard Brooks and Kate Mansi talked about that. They talked to the stuntman. They talked about the Queen herself. And the big perspective that is left behind by the stuntman is, I'll always be the Queen who jumped into the 2012 Olympic Games. That's gone to Gary Connolly, who leapt 50 feet. No, leapt 500 feet from a helicopter. It was well timed. Inside the Sunday Times, some other cool stuff about, say, Katie Taylor, the boxer who probably clean up with gold. Profiles about her, a brave boxer, and stuff you might not have known. If you're in the United States, you probably don't get coverage of women boxing, but Katie's a real-life million-dollar baby. Transformed women's boxing as a sport, single-handedly pulling it into the Olympics. She lives in Bray, where I first lived when I came to Ireland. Elsewhere in the Sunday Times, Roy Quinn, who's Minister for Education, wants a new Croke Park deal. Basically, Sarah McInerney and Stephen O'Brien point out that he's looking to have cuts in the classroom, but his deal that he has in mind focuses on getting more for less. Basically means that my clock hours in the classroom will go up. I really don't have a problem with that. I wish the resources would go up, but hey, that's the story. And the story is driven by some front page coverage because, well, on the front page of the paper, or the Sunday Times paper, talks about Sean Quinn, who was partially responsible for bringing down Anglo-Irish Bank. He and his family have lost control of the building considered to be the jewel in their 500 million euro international property group portfolio. They lost the fight for a 130 million euro tower, which basically means that particular piece of property, the Kutztow Tower in Moscow, will go back over to the bank. Generates an annual income for rent just up to 20 million euro. Pretty big stuff. Sunday Times also asks questions about technology. What's eating Google? Brian Applewood or Alison Waller did the illustration. Brian Appleyard did the story. It's kind of subtitled Web 3.0. I don't know if I'd give it much credence. Well, it's an interesting background story about how things are changing in Web 3.0, about notifications, the tablet that Google has out, the Nexus 7, probably going to be a hit. And the whole issue about the article is written about the traditional PC-based search, accounting for a huge percentage of profits. As we all know, the technology is putting handsets and mobile search into the forefront, into the crosshairs of revenue production. What Brian doesn't point out is like how some of that revenue is actually evolving in-app and in the location-based services that Google has. I think it's too early to say that Google's going to die. Elsewhere in that Sunday Times magazine, that's where that story is about, called Field of Dreams, about the Summer Olympics. You can follow some of the sounds of the Summer Olympics over on Audioboo FM. I'm on Audioboo.fm/topgold if you want to follow it. Sunday Business Post, lead story on, banks cracking down on buy-to-let investors. So banks are going to turn into landlords, basically taking money directly from people renting properties that are currently in default. And then the CIE, which is the Consolidated Transport entity in Ireland, a state entity for buses and for trains, running into problems Nicola Cook and Pat Leahy point out that CIE told the government that it would have run out of cash by the end of September if it hadn't gotten 36 million euro. A cash injection. The lead story in the Business Post, what they don't go into is CIE's trading without actually having audited statements. Backstory might be they might not have paid their flipping auditors. You'd pay Pete Henry though, if you're developing a phone app. They're really good development company, a firm down in Waterford that's going to grow to about 50 people. Got another round of investment. Good stuff going on about how to take stuff that's typically bog standard web pages or content management systems and making it possible to be read very quickly in any mobile platform known to man. Sean O'Sullivan continues the second week in the technology section of the Sunday Business Post. He's writing a column that's normally written by Adrian Weckler, pointing out that education is the key to recovery. He zeroes in on the fact that it takes more points to get into the business programs in Ireland than it does into the technology ones. There's a whole backstory to that. I'm not sure Sean would want to go into that. But the fact is, you regulate your points based on demand, jack them up when there's a high demand for the course. And he points out stuff that he'd do with Khan Academy and more innovative way of learning. I'd do this. I'd read Atlantic Magazine. That's what we'll be doing the next few weeks. Good stuff there about innovation, about ideas, about women. Still can't have it all. I'll have those stories over on www.insideview.ie. Follow me on Twitter at topgold or Flickr. And just watch what I have outside my window in the Rock of Cashel. I'm Bernie Golbach. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.